Yeah, there is a reason for this. There is a reason why a Christian community favors the Jewish community more than the Islamic community. The reason is twofold. First of all, the reason is that there is a growth of evangelical Zionism in in among the Christian community in general, and it's everywhere in the world, especially in America, but it's also there in the entire world. Um, Among the evangelical community, there is a growth of Zionism. What is Zionism? Zionism is a political, come socio, come cultural, come religious movement in which people think that there should be a Jewish state of Israel, and all the Jews should come and come up there in the Jewish state of Israel and reside. And people usually believe that this Jewish state of Israel should be based on a the place which culturally was a part of Israel, the larger Israel, which was, or the smaller Israel, I don't know, but the Israel of the history, in which the time of Jesus and before Jesus, whatever, wherever the Jewish people lived, there all these Jews should come back and return, should come back from all over the world, Europe, Asia, and so on, and America, and so on, and they should live and settle there. So, therefore, that's one important part why the Jewish state of Israel is popular among the evangelicals, because evangelicals do believe in the that in the that during the second coming, that in the Jewish state of Israel. So what Christians believe is that especially evangelical Christians, mostly evangelical Protestant Christians, believe that the when the Christ would return again, that is to the second coming of Messiah, all these Jews have been scattered around in different parts of the world would come together in the place of where Israel was originally there. And this actually was prophesied for the Messiah. Yeah, that is to say, so according to Jews, there is no second coming of Christ, etc. They anyway reject Jesus as Messiah, and they believe that there is no second coming of Messiah. Messiah should come one time, and they see him as a political leader. So they see the promised Messiah as a political leader who would bring on, who would establish the state of Israel, and who would, all these during his world, during his time, there would be worldwide peace. The temple would be rebuilt, the Jewish temple would be rebuilt, and uh, you know uh, the people of Jewish people worldwide around would come to this place of Israel, and so on. So that is what Jews believe in. Now, Jews always ask this question to Christians, that this is a prophecy concerning Messiah, that people all around the world should come and Jews all around the world should come and reside in Israel. Now that hasn't happened with regard to coming of Jesus. During the coming of Jesus, and when Jesus Christ died, and when Jesus got resurrected and went away, you didn't see all the Jews in the world coming around and living in Israel. So some Christians usually say that, oh well, it is going to be coming. It was a prophecy for the second coming of Christ. So during the second coming of Christ, all these Jews would come around and live in Israel. So that's why the evangelical community is favoring Israel. And naturally, if the evangelical community is favoring Israel, then they have to favor Jews as well, and they treat Jews with respect, etc. And they, I mean, they also say that America is a Judeo Christian country. That's a phrase which you hear from a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservatives in America, that America is a Judeo-Christian country. The word Judeo was not added before this rise of evangelical Zionism. It was just Christian country. The word Judeo was added because people believe that Jews are also formed a part of culture of America. Muslims were never part of the culture of America as well. So that is one thing. Now, within the Catholic Church, that was mainly about the Protestant community. Within the Catholic Church, uh, why it is so happening? So, in the Catholic Church, ethnic Jews, which are today Jews, do have a value in terms of the ultimate, the ultimate plan of the ultimate salvation plan. So the ethnic Jews have a role to play in the ultimate salvation plan, and the role that they would be playing is that they would be converting to the Catholic Church. But other than that, the reason why there is a favor and there is a love for the Jews is because much of today the Protestant community and the Catholic community is intermingled when it comes to their some of the matters of faith. So that aspect of Protestant community of Zionism is actually borrowed from Catholic is borrowed in Catholic Church as well. Secondly, those Catholics who are Republicans for the reason of being pro-life, for the being a reason. So this is also one of the factor that if because there is a two party like a two party system in America. If you are, let's say, a Republican for the reason of being pro-life, that you want that abortion should not happen, then you automatically become associated with Republican Party, and then you would see that there would be a change in views with regard to gun rights. So you would be pro gun as well. Then you would be anti big government and pro small government, and you would be anti huge taxes and pro small taxes, like less taxes and so on. So that's what ultimately you happen to be when you are in a two party system. So that has also affected a role among the Christian community in in America, in the Catholic community in America. uh, Theologically speaking, but that's just for America. Theologically speaking, in the world right now, the change happened because of the Second Vatican Council. So, in the Second Vatican Council, there was this growing movement of ecumenism, which is the most hated part of this council. There are Catholics who identify themselves as traditional Catholics, and they don't agree with the Second Vatican Council, which happened around 1962, no, 1963 to 1965, I guess. So, um, you know, in that Second Vatican Council, there was one aspect, like, so it was basically a council that was met by all the bishops around the world, and they discussed on various issues that needs to be changed within the church, that we should have a different approach for our coming century and so on. And this One of the aspect of this is ecumenism. So ecumenism is a movement that you met with people of other religions, and you keep apart the differences, and you make sure that what all things they have in common, and you try to build a peaceful society, rather than fighting with other religions for the sake of their differences. This is usually hailed as a move to repent of the sins of Christendom, where the Jews and other people of other religions were, but usually Jews, because it was mainly in Europe, so they were killed because of their faith, and of course Protestants as well. So they believe that this we should connect with all other religions as well. And now this is the one of the most hated ones, because many, including me, at some point of time believe that church just went bit too far when it comes to ecumenism. Sometimes you would see that bishops and pope going to mosques and temples and praying and so forth, so on and so forth. So yeah, people are a bit disappointed with that motive, but that's essentially the reason why the Catholic Church has made sure that um, we also move to the Eastern Orthodox faith. We also respect the Jewish faith, the Islamic faith, Hindu faith, and so on and so forth. So we treat other religions equally. Uh, and that has played a important role in changing the mindset of people in terms of some communities. The first community I would say that has played a very important role among the Catholic Church is the Eastern Orthodox community. The Eastern Orthodox community was part of the Catholic Church till the Great Eastern Schism that happened around 1100 AD or 1200 AD, and this is the Orthodox Church that is presently in Russia, in Greece, and these countries. So Putin is an Eastern Orthodox. Now, this community is specially loved by almost all Catholics, and the credit needs to be given to the ecumenism, because they see that see how much we have in common. In fact, almost there are only just three factors which separates us. Almost a bit of three factors which separates us, and um, two of them can be ignored as well. So even with just one factor, that's major factor that's going to separate us. And there is a huge love for Eastern Orthodox community, especially because during the communist movement, both Catholics and Eastern Orthodox suffered in the hands of communists. So this was seen as this so that ecumenism movement is working well in Catholic Church. The second community which benefited from the ecumenism movement of the church is the Jewish community, and there is a real difference we could see. The hatred towards Jews present in the Catholic community now versus which was present, let's say, even 100 years before or 200 years before. And that's and of course there were always, so theologically speaking, all these religions were had been respected equally. Perhaps Christian religions were a bit separate, but otherwise almost all other religions were treated separately. So it was like in a three-tier relationship. First, it's Christians who are of different denominations. Second, it's the monotheistic religion, the Abrahamic religion, that is to say, Islam and Judaism. And then it comes to other religions who are not Abrahamic religions. So that was usually the way it went. But that's how the church does it officially. But people have their own mentality. People have their more affinity towards one religion or another religion based on host of different circumstances. So in terms of Judaism, you don't really see much of Jews either converting Christians willfully or forcefully or anyway, and not even like, except for in few cases in Israel, you don't see that Jews are hurting Christians. On the other hand, we see that there is almost, if you there is a organization called Open Door USA and UK, which collects this data of the persecution of Christians that happens worldwide around. And except for North Korea, all and China, almost all other heavily persecuted countries in the world are Muslim majority countries. So because of that, people have a dislike towards Islam, and that's the reason that Jews are a bit respected today, while Muslims are not at that level. Um, yeah, so that's the reason why the Protestant community as well as in Catholic community, in both the ways, Jews are respected and loved. Now, I have to say this, that today the anti-Semitism is not faced as much as by Christian community as it is faced by the Islamic community. Even if you look at in fact, I was watching one of the documentaries, and it said that in Europe present in right now, because of this immigration of Muslims and immigration of people of other faiths, etc. The various anti-Semitic threats that have been, that have been done in Europe, it's actually by the Islamic community and not others, because the other communities usually have become lukewarm. They don't much identify about the faith, and they do, like, now they have been that persecuting. But when it comes to Islamic community, it is the war, it is more, the violence is more. um, so yeah, that's basically why it is so.